Hey guys, how's it going? Episode 2. Thank you so much for the love on the first video. I hope you're enjoying them. Anyone who wants to see something specific, make sure you put it in the comments on this video or the first one, and we'll be able to hopefully make some of the dishes that you want to see. Any tips, hints, or tricks that you want to know or learn, anything to do with maybe cooking a steak or anything like that, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate you. Today's episode, we're going to hit something that's really quick and simple for a lunch or a dinner. Very tasty, very wholesome, but I'm going to show you a couple of little secrets that can make something that may seem complicated really easy. Let's get it. So guys, on today's episode, I'm going to show you something that's really quick and simple. We're going to just do a very fast stir fry. Now, I have a little trick to this that helps me get a lot of flavour into it without an awful lot of work. This theoretically could be pretty much a 10-minute dish. So as you can see on the side here, I've actually just prepped down a chicken. I'm going to do a video on showing people how to do that on another episode. It's very simple, it's very easy, and once you learn that trick, it's going to save you an awful lot of money. It's £4 to £5 for a chicken, and it's also £4 to £5 for 2 chicken breasts. Now, breaking down a whole chicken like I have now not only saved me a lot of money, because I'm going to get 3 meals from what I've got here. So first of all, I kept all the carcass. I'm going to roast this off and create my own chicken stock. That then I'll be able to make chicken tom kha, which was in the comments of the first one, so I can make a beautiful Thai soup. And then everything else over here is all the other chicken pieces that I've got from a whole chicken. So this is what you're normally paying £4 for. Now, not only have I got all of this, but actually I've got cleaner meats because I've been able to trim it up and do everything I need to do. We've also got a couple of thighs, a couple of drumsticks, and a couple of wings. We're going to get a good meal out of that. But today we're going to go with a breast, and we're going to make a very fast stir fry. Okay, so to start with, what I want to do is just again add flavour. Just like I said in the first episode, everything is about flavour. Add in umami, add in everything you can is exactly what we want to do. So we're going to go onions and garlic. Now that's the first stage. I tend to put quite a lot of garlic in my stir fry. I think it is going to help give a lot of flavour. I also thoroughly enjoy garlic. So first what we're going to do is we're going to get the pan on. Now, if you haven't got a wok, no problem, you can do this in a frying pan. I'm going to use my wok because I've got a really well seasoned wok here now. We're going to get that on, but we're actually going to just turn it on a really low heat. We don't want to get it too hot straight away, but we want to get it hot when we're cooking the dishes. Fast, and we want to cook stir fries really fast, basically. So from here, we're just going to get some onions ready. So we're going to get all our vegetables ready now to cook, and then we're going to get all our chicken cooked down. Common mistake I find with stir fries and people doing it at home, you buy this ready-made, even chicken sliced, and it's not really clean. They don't take a lot of time and effort to keep it clean and prep nicely. You get a lot of fats, you get a lot of veins running through it, and you'll find you get quite chewy chicken. Now, because we've chopped ours down ourselves, we've been able to remove all of that straight away. So it's much, much better and much cheaper to be able to break down your whole chicken yourself. So we've taken the onion. I'm going to put some garlic. I've used red onion. I think it is a bit nicer in a stir fry over white onion, because what we don't want to do today, like we did on the first episode, we don't actually want to caramelize this down much. Yes, we need it to brown slightly, but we want to hold a bit of al dente crunch in the onion for a stir fry. I'm doing this as well because this is a real cheap way of being able to have a very tasty and flavoursome kind of lunch. I'm not going to add all the different veggies that you can add into a stir fry. The world's your oyster when it comes to stir fries. You can do whatever you want. So I've just crushed the garlic there, and I'm just slicing it. Now I want to get it nice thin slices really. So I'm not going to cut that down too thin. I've just got too fine. I've got some nice slices there. I'm going to start to brown that when we're going into the cooking process, because I want to get that really nutty and a little bit crunchy. So we've got the onions, we've got the garlic. Next, we're going to go for a pepper. So we're going to pop some pepper in here. I just take the sides off the pepper and the bottom. Theoretically, this is all waste. You shouldn't be wasting this really. And then from there, just really nice thin slices. Real nice thin slices of red pepper. Like I say, we want to cook all this fast. You know, if you've not got long in your lunch break, but you're at home and you want to be able to make something quick, the thinner the better, the faster it's going to cook. Okay, so we've sliced that down. Excellent. What we're going to do now is we're going to put all that in a bowl. We prep this. We wanted to prep our veggies first. We don't want to be chopping vegetables on a board that's had raw meat on it. Anytime you're using meat, you want to do the meat as last as you can. But this is what I said in the first episode. Let's get our stuff prepped and ready, and then we're ready to just focus on the cooking. So I'm going to put that over there, and we're going to take our chicken breasts. Now, the skin. I don't want the skin for a stir fry. We haven't got time to make that crispy. You could do that through the oven or in a pan to make that crisp as well, but we don't want to do that. But what we are going to do is we're going to save that for our stock. So the skin will just pull away from the breast. If you need to use your knife to just ease it off, please do. And then any of these like sinewy fat parts, I don't know if you can see this, sinewy fat parts that are here, just trim them off and they can go into your stock. Now my secret to a stir fry is I don't like chunky chicken in a stir fry. I want it nice and thin and fast to cook. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to what they call butterfly this breast. We're going to just put our knife in the side, hand flat, and we're just going to run our knife through the center of it. That's going to open it up, and then you can just run your knife through the middle, and what you've got there is a beautifully thin and what we call a butterfly chicken breast. Now, if you were doing like a burger or something, you would cook it like that. I'm going to cut that in half, and I'm going to go for really thin strips of chicken. I want my chicken as thin as humanly possible. This again is going to ensure it cooks really quickly. You're going to feel like you get chicken in every mouthful that you have. And you can get, well, you just get more out of it. So that's that chicken there. And we're going to do exactly the same with the other one. Now, if you're just cooking for yourself, you don't need to use 2 chicken breasts here. Depends how hungry you are. But just 1 chicken breast there will be absolutely fine. You get quite a lot of chicken there, you see, from 1 breast. But we're going to go 2, just for today. So again, exactly the same process. Nice thin slices of chicken. Dead easy, dead quick. There we are. So now we've got all this chicken, nice and thinly sliced. So now we're ready to start the cooking process. Now we've got a cheat, okay? We've got a cheat to this. Instead of marinating or spices or anything like that, I'm going to use 2 sauces that are going to help us get all the flavour we need into this dish. So, the pan's been on low. It's nice and hot. Let's see if I can bring you over. The pan's on low. It's been nice and hot. We're going to give a generous amount of oil in there. You should see it start to smoke very slightly. That means it's roaring hot. Then we're going to grab our chicken. We're just going to roll the oil around our wok. And the chicken goes in. Remember, every time you're handling raw chicken, make sure you're washing your hands. That should be the last time that we touch raw chicken now. So a nice good hand wash, making sure we're being safe. Now it's in there, we can turn that heat up. We've had it warm and got hot slowly, which is a bit safer for us whilst we're chopping everything. And now we can turn that heat up because we want to start cooking it fast. Whilst that's going on, I've got a small pan of water going on over here, just for our noodles. So the chicken straight away will be browning. Now we want to get all the brown colour on this chicken. Brown equals flavour. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure this chicken's cooked all the way through. Okay? We've got all our veggies ready to go. It's like I said, this is a very, very, very simple and quick stir fry. You can go for whatever veggies you want. You can go mange tout, baby corn, bean sprouts, anything you like. So just keep cooking that down until that's fully cooked. Right, so we've just skipped ahead slightly there. We've got our chicken nice and browning now. This is exactly what we were looking for. What we're going to do now is we're going to start adding the veggies. Now I'm going to add the garlic in first, because as I said before, I want to get that browning. I want to get that crunchy, and it makes it kind of a little bit more nutty, and it takes away a lot of the bitterness. So it's dead simple. Garlic in. Start that cooking process off, and you'll start to see now all the natural kind of like chicken juices that are starting to come out. Cooking that garlic down as well. Delicious. At this point, I'm going to add a touch of seasoning. I'm going to throw a little bit of salt in there, and we're going to throw some Szechuan pepper in there. Any pepper will do. So cooking that down again a bit further now. The garlic's just starting to brown off a touch because we've got that pan on a high heat. We're going to have the rest of our veggies. In they go. As I said at the start, what we want is the onions and the peppers to have a little bit of a bite into them. Now we've sliced them all nice and thin, so it's not going to take long to be able to break all this down. Simple as that. Right, whilst that's happening, our water's boiling, and we're going to add some noodles. A couple bunches of noodles. I'm going to go for 2 today. And just let them start to cook. The onions and the peppers just starting to soften very, very gently now. We ain't far off from just finishing what's going on over here. Now, there's different things you can add into this now. You could add a little bit of ginger. You could add a little bit of Chinese 5-spice into this now. I'm not overly keen on 5-spice. So this is where the cheat comes in. I have a cheat. There's 2 sauces you can use to create a very simple but delicious sauce. One of them is chili jam. Now, because all this is brown, the chicken's cooked, we know that. And because the onions and peppers have just started to soften, we're going to start adding our sauces. So I do 2 lovely heaped tablespoons of chili jam. This is going to add sweetness. It's going to add a little bit of a body to the dish, and also a tiny bit of a spice. So you can see, let's just incorporate that round. You could use sweet chili sauce. I just prefer chili jam. And then we're going to go for a dark soy sauce. So you've got chili jam, soy sauce into the dish. Now again, be careful when you're adding salt, because soy is very salty. You add too much salt at the start, it's going to be way too salty. And if you think we've got salty soy, we've put salt on the chicken, and we've also put a little bit of salt into the water of the noodles. So we've got to be very careful that we're not making our dish overly salty. Less is more. And as I said in the first episode, you can always add, but you can never take away. Noodles have just cooked. They're nice and soft now, but not too soft. So we're going to drain them off. And then we're going to add that to our stir fry. So make sure you get all the water away from the noodles. And then we're just going to add that into our stir fry. Okay, so now we've got all the noodles fully incorporated into the stir fry. We've moved it all around, we've mixed it all up. Now it's time to plate. So this is my other little delicious secret. We're going to get ourselves a bowl, and what we're going to top it with is just going to add more flavour. Obviously, like I said, this is a really simple dish. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put this into the bowl now. Let's bring the bowl onto the hob so you guys can see it. 1 second. What? Wrong way. And we're just going to take the noodles and all the bits and bobs that we've got in here into the bowl. As I said, I've made enough here for 2 people. Once we've got that done, we're going to just finish it off with a couple of bits. So my favourite things to have on stir fries is crispy onions. I cannot get enough. This is going to add a load more flavour and another texture to the dish. So we get some crispy onions on there, and then last but not least, sort of my favourite, but it's a bit 50% of other people if they like it or not. I'm going to take some coriander, and all we're going to do is just rip some coriander on top. Throw that all over, some on the hob as well, and there we have it. One beautiful, easy and quick chicken stir fry, crispy onions and some coriander. Cheers guys, don't forget to like and comment. I appreciate you all. Hit that subscription button and tell me how you get on with this. Any recipes you want me to see, tips or tricks, let me know. See you next time.